Hey, welcome to my LP Let's Play video of Mega Man 9. This is my first one, so don't expect a lot from it.
Hey guys, so this is a bit of a more sentimental video, but I want to make it. I almost feel obligated, like I need to make it by the end of this year. So just about 10 years ago exactly is when I started this YouTube channel, and I had dabbled in YouTube before this channel, just doing little things, but this is when I kind of had I don't even know how to describe it. I kind of had like a mission or some sort of really like one of the first times I ever felt very devoted to some sort of project. So I was like, I want to make a YouTube channel, and at the time in 2009, late 2009, Let's Plays were pretty popular and reviews I really liked, like video game reviews. So I really wanted to do something like that. And I mean, I'll get to the whole whether it's a success or not, or whether I finished or completed that mission in a bit, but I did want to say that yeah, I don't think it's up because I have it unlisted, but the first video I made was a test capture thing with my Dazzle, which I had gotten for Christmas that year in 2009, like December, I think December 31st, 2009 was the date of that first video. And maybe a few weeks later, maybe like a week later, I uploaded my first Let's Play, which was Mega Man 9, which I do not have up anymore because it's pretty terrible. And a lot of those are pretty terrible, and not in a sense where it's like, oh, I was just kind of stupid and it's not as good as the other videos. This was 2009, and I was, 13 years old, 14 years old. Yeah, it was less about like, oh, I wasn't putting all. It was like, these are almost unwatchable now, like to a point where the audio sounds so bad. It is. I wish I could. Maybe I can show a clip, but it's unreasonably bad. And I was gonna do a reaction video to one of those old videos as like a 10-year thing, but honestly I don't say much in them, so there's like not much to react to. It's just like, it's so stupid. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, this is kind of a stupid little like update sort of thing. So this YouTube channel hasn't ever been my main focus of my life, unless maybe like 10 years ago it was for a little bit. But ever since then, it's been kind of a nice creative outlet for me. Like, it helps me just do something I need to do when I need to do it, and in a creative sense. Like, sometimes I'm really burnt out from drawing, or I'm really burnt out from just everything, and making a YouTube video is one of the most therapeutic things for me, I've realized. Especially ones like this, or ones where I'm talking about something like my thoughts on videos, or just a little bit of a Let's Play. Those are so easy and so I don't know. This is gonna be probably a pretty long video, or a decently long video. I'm gonna talk about a lot of things, and it's not scripted. I don't really want to do this one scripted because a lot of this is just kind of talking about my feelings. There's no even like a guideline right now. But yeah, anyway, this has been a good creative outlook for me. But I realized that YouTube also kind of kickstarted my social life in general, which is a weird thing to say, but I'll explain it. Yeah, again, I was 13 when I started my YouTube channel, so I was like prime adolescence, and I think I used YouTube as sort of an outlet. Oh my god, outlet to kind of communicate with other people. I liked the community aspect of YouTube. Even in my older channel before a decade ago, I did talk to some people. It was a little bit, I was really young, so it was a little bit less like, I was a little more weary about who I was talking to. But starting then was when I first me and my friend used AIM back then, but then we kind of started using Skype, I think right around 2009. And we started using Skype. I started talking to people through YouTube, just, other people who made channels and stuff. And through that, I did a bunch of stuff. And even in 2009, or 2010, I started live streaming before it was anything. I want to do a video about this. It's so interesting. And I think I was a really big prime, I'm a good voice for that, because I streamed a lot. I streamed like every freaking day for like 2 years, but I streamed in 2011 before Twitch existed. So it was weird. It was a weird time for live streaming, and it was such a niche community, and it was cool that I was like, I wouldn't say one of the only, but I was taking advantage of like the Dazzle and stuff, so I was able to actually play console games, and I had a setup for it, and it was stupid and probably not great nowadays, but it was good back then. Anyway, that's not what this is about. Yeah, when I started my YouTube channel and I started talking to people, it's kind of when I started getting this sort of more social sort of attitude, and my personality started to shift a little bit. And obviously, it's supposed to when you're going through adolescence. Your personality is not supposed to be stagnant. You're supposed to be able to change. And when you're 13, you'll be very different when you're 15. And when you're 15, you'll be very different when you're 18. And when you're 18, you might be different when you're 20, but you might not, depending on what you do. But you're almost always indefinitely going to be changing a lot when you're a teenager, just because of what you're doing, where you are, how much change is going through your life in general. That's just a base thing. I think no one can argue that. I would hope no one can argue that. Maybe they can. And when I was doing that, YouTube helped me get a little bit more comfortable with myself. And not that I wasn't. I would argue that I probably wasn't before. When I was in middle school, it was definitely not fun to be me, as weird as that sounds, but that was late middle school, early high school. Also, that was Discord. I finally kind of got in a mold, and I started talking on a microphone, which was very helpful. And I started talking to people on Skype, which was very helpful. And I started making friends online, which was very helpful. And it's funny because a lot of people will talk about their social life and, influences of their social life, their high school life, college, meeting friends in college. My most influential thing in terms of my social life, in terms of my personality, I would call myself outgoing. I'm definitely an extrovert, not an introvert, I'd say. Everyone's got a little bit of both, but I'm definitely I like putting my voice out there. I like talking to people. I like being it sounds so stupid. It sounds like, oh my god. I like being like the star of the conversation, I guess. Or I like to be the one driving the conversation. For example, me and some friends did like a test podcast thing, and nobody was really sure who was going to do what, and I was kind of just there for the ride. This was their podcast, but when I started, no one was saying anything, and I was like, okay, fine. And I just started introducing the podcast, introducing people, and being basically like the host. But I think that's just a kind of what do you call it? A result of me being on YouTube for so long and doing these videos. I do have a good amount of videos, at least in terms of hours I've spent talking to myself like I am right now, which is not easy to do. I guarantee there are a lot of people on this earth that would do this and be like, this is not for me. And it's not hard to do when you know how to do it. If you are comfortable with yourself, it's fine. But it definitely takes some getting used to, and no one can argue that. I think anyone who makes a YouTube video is not instantly like, what's up, guy? Unless they're trying. But most of the time, people ease themselves into it. In my early videos, I was not saying much, and I was very awkward, and I was trying to make jokes, ? They are so hard to watch. I am so glad they're unlisted. They are so hard to listen to. And I don't even think that's just me. I think it's just oh god, I sound like such a child. That's the point. They're charming for that reason. They're not deleted, they're just unlisted. And as long as YouTube stays up, they'll be fine. And I'll re-download them at some point. I have a new hard drive, so I should probably do that sometime. So I think people so I think I developed the personality of being more outgoing because of this YouTube thing. And it's cool, and it is really nice. But I will admit, so this is the kind of the but part. So that's all I wanted to say about that. That was, my personality has been shifted over the past decade because of this. And I think I like myself because of it, and I have problems with myself like anybody else. But I don't think I'd want to be any other way. I've met people who are different. Obviously there are tons of people I've met in my life, and I like the way I am. I think I don't look at somebody and I'm like, I want to be like that. I mean, there are aspects of people that I want to be like, but when it comes to their core personality, and if I know somebody well enough to read into that, usually I'm like, you know what? I'm cool with this. I'm cool with being somebody who needs to have a voice and do this kind of thing, because I don't know, I think it gives me some confidence, a little bit of confidence. It's nice. This is weirdly philosophical now, but switching gears, I will say this though, on the but side, my YouTube channel has never been something of a success to me, which is sad, but I'm going to be completely transparent here, and this has always been a thing. At this point, I don't really do it for anything, but for so long, it was so disappointing that I could never find an audience, and I still don't really have one. If you look on my channel, I have like 1,000 subscribers, but that's from 10 years of accumulating tiny bits, and at one point, I uploaded like a popular like My Little Pony video, but it was like just a clip from the show or something, and it just got like millions of views, so it was like tons of people subscribed for no fucking reason. But I mean, you know, with 1 million views and you get 1,000 subscribers, that's like nothing. So, and most of those people are totally inactive. You know, I have 1,000 subscribers, but I get 20 views a video, and still, after a decade, I still do that. And I will admit, I don't promote myself in any sort of way or fashion, and I don't really make a lot of videos that warrant a lot of views, which is not super fair to say to some people, but I don't put a lot of effort into my videos. I won't even argue that. I really don't. I don't even try to think I put an effort into my videos. There are a few that I have put an effort. There are a few videos that I finally... I'll talk about that because I'm going to kind of go through the timeline of what I've been doing. That's just more for fun, but this is more philosophical talk and sort of emotional stuff that I've always felt about this channel. Yeah, I've never really been satisfied because I've never really felt like I had a reason to put in that amount of effort, which might have been the reason why I pursued other things like drawing, and I'm making a comic now, and, you know, other forms of creative, you know, stuff. I might have focused so much on YouTube if I was getting those numbers, but I never was. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, like, am I meant to be a YouTuber? Who freaking knows? I will say this, total transparency. I've heard the horror stories of YouTube. I know what it's, I've met people who have had tons of followers. I've met people who have been there. I know that it's tough, but I think I could handle it. I mean, it's obviously always going to be a rocky road, but I kind of wish I was somebody who did that. I wish I was like, you know, somebody who was there since 2009 and was making these videos as like the platform changed. I only wish that because it sounds like an experience, and it would have made a decade of me doing this really interesting. But I don't regret anything. I don't regret putting tons of time into my videos, because obviously if I did that, I might have not done a lot of things. I might not be in this apartment that I live in right now. You know, there's so many things that could have changed, and I'm pretty satisfied for the most part of how my life is right now. So, like, for the most part, I mean, there's obviously, everyone has some things they're not great with, but I'm mostly okay. Like, you know, I'm mentally okay. Could physically be better, but I'm okay for the most part physically. I mean, I just like weight-wise, but that's stupid. But, you know, I have a decent amount of motivation. I have a decent paying job right now. I'm like going through the steps of becoming an adult, and obviously the world is huge and my life is tiny, but in my tiny life, I think I'm okay, which is nice to know. And if anyone's wondering, that is true. I am okay. And you can follow me on social media, and I talk, you know, pretty frequently, so you'd know. Not about this specifically, but I'm fine. Like, you know, I make posts, I talk about stuff. I'm usually okay. Obviously, everyone has their ups and downs, but overall, I think I'm okay. Anyway, I did want to talk about the channel and how it's been progressing, and over the decade, what I've done. And this is a very stupidly long video, and I apologize. I might make, if I'm making this, I probably won't make it. I was going to make like a timeline video of everything I did. I thought this rambling video might be a little bit more comfortable for me, less editing. I don't have a lot of time to edit videos right now, so so yeah, back in 2009, when I started the channel, I was doing Let's Plays. I remember doing Mega Man 9, I remember doing Paper Mario, I remember doing Mario and Luigi, and I was just so devoted to playing these games and talking. I had a Rock Band microphone. I did not have any kind of... I don't even have a great microphone now. I never upgraded my microphone setup. Or not really. I've had this microphone for probably probably more than that. It's crazy to think, because when you think about a decade, it's like 2010 feels like a while ago. But then 2015 does not feel like half of that ago. Like, it's very strange to me. Like, 2015, I was not thinking like the length of time between 2010 and 2015 feels longer than 2015 to 2019, or 2020, which is weird. I mean, like, that's sort of like some, like, existential shit that I don't like, but I think it's like it's a very strange thought. Like half of that time was 2015. That's when that was. I did so much in 2010 to 15, and then 2015 to 19 was like a shift in what I was doing. But I still did a good amount. But it was just if it's a different feeling amount of time. It's interesting. Oh, weird. I heard like something outside. I thought that was someone whistling. Anyway, yeah. So I made these Let's Plays. They're pretty poo poo caca. I don't really have many of them up. I think my earliest Let's Play might still be up, and it's pretty good representation of that time. I did play a lot of games. I remember everyone used to keep track of all the games they Let's Played and stuff, and it was fun. It was a fun thing to keep track of, and I think I had like 20 games at one point, which is pretty good. I mean, considering, you upload one a day, that's a pretty good amount. I remember playing Sonic 4, like, right when it came out. Like, the day it came out, I Let's Played. I think that was in 2011. And, I talked to people online. In 2010 was when I started talking to people online, streaming, meeting people. My roommate right now I met in 2010. A lot of my online friends that I have consistently. I'm literally going to Florida in 2 days to go to a convention that I went to last year with one of my friends that I've met online through online friends. And the only reason I met them was because of the basically a friend of a friend who I met through live streaming. And just that whole group I've met through different forms of live streaming, and it's so fascinating. It's such a fascinating thing. I could make a whole video about that in general. But yeah, when I started live streaming, I still made YouTube videos, and a lot of my YouTube videos were more, whatever. They kind of linked to my live stream as well. Everything kind of went together. I made like updates on my live stream on YouTube. I made I was doing marathons on Ustream, which was like I would just play a game for a certain amount of time until I beat them. So I did a marathon of like every Paper Mario game. So I played through 1, 2, and Super, but I don't think I beat Super Paper Mario. I think I got like halfway, and I was like, nah, I'm way too tired for this because I wouldn't sleep. Well, I would take like naps, but I wouldn't like sleep. I remember I took like a 4-hour nap between Paper Mario 1 and 2. Yeah, very strange. I loved doing those. Those were really fun though. If I had like people to do that with, like a group, like something like AGDQ does, or back in the day there was something called it was like Speed Gamer or something like that. It was like something where basically it was that a bunch of people doing a marathon of games, and they would do like a Final Fantasy marathon and play through Final Fantasy games. But they had a bunch of people, so people could shift on and off, and that would be fun. I would still love to do that, but again, it sucks because I have so many ideas like this, but it really isn't worth doing anything like this unless I had an audience, which is what I don't have. So for the longest time, I've always wanted to do reviews. That was a big thing. I think I tried like pseudo things back in like 2011 where I was like doing things like games you should play, which is like a stupid series I had an idea for like years, and I just never really picked it up. It was borderline unscripted, very weird, kind of everywhere. I really didn't like put the time and effort into it I should have. And then 2012 2013 was kind of a shift in sort of what I was planning on doing. I started getting really into graphic design because that's kind of what I wanted to do for school. So I spent less time doing YouTube videos. I liked video editing has always been something I genuinely love to do. Some people don't like it. I think it's time consuming and kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, but it is fun, and it's very satisfying. It's like very, very satisfying to do. I don't do a lot of it, obviously, because I don't make a ton of videos, but whenever I do, I find it fun. When I was making the videos like the Cookie Mama retrospective and the remake game thing, that was cool because I was like really putting some serious time and effort into those videos. And I guess that's kind of the transition. Throughout the last like 6 years, I haven't really been doing a ton. It's on and off videos. I use it, again, that's more of when I started using it as a creative sort of outlet for just having fun, talking, relaxing. A bit like this right now, actually. It's very relaxing. And I still do this. I still make videos, not often, but I think I've shifted into just playing random games, kind of having fun with what I was, just random shit I find, and sort of just having an excuse to talk about something or, showing a reaction to something. It's fun. It's kind of what a lot of people do, and it's sort of the easiest kind of outlet for this kind of stuff. It's pretty simple. Also, just want to say, this is kind of shitty, but I love I see people on YouTube who do very videos of my style, but get a lot of views because of the content they make or something. Not to dismiss what they're actually doing, but I will admit the amount of effort that goes into this, not a ton of effort. I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of creative mediums, video editing and making videos like reaction videos and just videos where I play a random game. Not a ton of effort. There could be effort in like keeping it up and making sure you have new games to play and all this stuff, which is true. But actually making the videos is such an easy process. It's like 2 seconds of, it's like maybe 20 minutes of editing. It's a watch of your video through and editing, I think. Like if you watch your video through and edit it accordingly while you watch it, it should only take maybe like double the amount of time that the actual video is. So if the video is 30 minutes, I'm not going to lie, unless you have a lot of edits going on, if it's just cutting and clipping, an hour of work is like all it should really take, in my opinion. Some people work faster than others, but when it comes to these kind of videos, I'm always like surprised. People are like, no, YouTube's like, really tiring, full-time job. And I'm like, maybe. Depends on what you do. Anyway, not to dismiss anyone's effort. It's just like, sometimes it's easier than other things. I've done a lot of creative mediums, so I'm like, YouTube is like my relaxing thing. Like the thing I do because like I'm being lazy. Or not even lazy, but I want to feel like I'm doing something, but I don't want to put in the effort of like, drawing, I guess, or doing something else. I don't know. Yeah, so then, in the last like 3 years, I started kind of wanting to do more serious stuff and, using my wealth of knowledge. Also, I'm sorry, I'm like creaking in my chair. Wealth of knowledge to make stupid videos about Cooking Mama. And that was probably my most proud video, that Cooking Mama video. And again, it has a nice, steady, 200 views? Again, I can't, it's fine. I'm glad anyone enjoyed it. When I sent it to people were very impressed. People are like, this is really entertaining and fun. You should do these more often. And I'm like, I would. But that Cooking Mama video took me so long to make. So freaking long to make. I want to find a system where I can, do the whole little dumb reviewer avatar character on the bottom of the screen. But I don't find a system that can do it better because, man, that video literally took like 45 hours or something ridiculous. And it was just way too much effort for a very dissatisfying payoff, not gonna lie. I mean, again, I spent so much time, and I bought every freaking Cooking Mama game for that stupid video. I made onigiri, and I fucked it up so hard. It's a pretty entertaining video. I just, obviously should have put more, I don't know, I should have done more consistently. I think if I made consistent videos like that, I could possibly have a following. And I've asked some people who are decently huge on YouTube, not decently huge, have a decent following on YouTube and do this as a living. And a lot of people say you should try doing consistent stuff. And some people have even considered, they're like, have you ever tried storytime videos? I mean, you have art and you do stuff like that. Those are pretty popular. And I think I have the voice for it. I've thought about trying it. I do have a lot of stupid stories in my life that I could tell. But I just don't watch them. That's the problem. I don't really watch storytime videos. I know of them. Jaden Animations is the only one that I remember watching, and I didn't even watch it very consistently. I just kind of was like, oh, this is cute. I don't really know what they're like. I don't really know the status quo. Maybe that's good. Maybe I should just do my own thing, and maybe it'll take off. I don't know. Personally, I don't even know at this point, do I want it to take off? Because I have so many other, things. And now YouTube is, basically a crumbling mountain. It's like everyone's just falling off. It's tough to even think it's worth doing now. I mean, maybe 5 years ago it might have been worth doing when it was at its height. But it's popular, but it seems like such a weird thing to do. Now, I'm not trying to say, and this is a weird thing because now it's sort of sounding like I'm just this is a failure of a YouTube channel. I'm sad, but I'm not really sad. It's fascinating to me when I look at how much time I've spent on this channel and how this is 10 years old now. 10 years old. It doesn't feel like yesterday. I'm not going to be like, oh, it feels like yesterday I started this. It does somewhat feel like 10 years ago, but it's a weird feeling of damn, I spent a decade of my life on this, and that's important. That's arguably the most important decade of my life I spent with a YouTube channel that I'm probably going to keep up, obviously. Maybe I'll make a 20-year video. That's interesting because I don't think a lot of other people can say that. And I think especially it's a subject of my generation, especially people who kind of because 2009, all things considered, was the beginning parts of YouTube. Like, YouTube was still at its like infancy or its toddler see, however you say that. And it was early, and it was still being experimental. And a lot of people who doing YouTube professionally now, in 2009, they weren't making money on YouTube. They were just doing it for fun. So it's this weird thing where it's like, back then, I was like, it was a weird, mysterious thing where I just wanted to share content. I just wanted to make content and meet people and borderline not become famous, but at least have people to interact with, because I loved the idea of having fans and having fans sound stupid, having people who watch my videos. Basically, I like the idea of having an audience, and I guess I've always liked that, which was nice with live streaming because you have a media audience, so it's fun to communicate and talk to people. Anyway, this is super rambly and kind of a mess, but basically, I do want to say thank you to anybody who's watching this who has supported me throughout any of these 10 years. This is kind of not a super like weighted thing to say because I don't have a ton of views, but I'm serious. I do this for fun almost entirely. I've never made a dime on YouTube. I don't even know how to make a dime on YouTube. I've never associated a credit card to YouTube. I've never associated a bank account. I've never gotten a check from YouTube. I've never even tried to get a check from YouTube. I don't even know how to. I don't even know how ad revenue works. I've never done any of that, and I've never had the amount of views or the consistency to be able to do that. So, all things considered, I'm thanking you for supporting me and watching my videos, if you do, and giving them a listen, if it's a ramble or a let's play or something. But it's super appreciative because it gives me an excuse to keep doing it, and I know it's very healthy for me to do in my personality. It's something that I think I'm a way better person for pursuing. Like, if I didn't, I'd be missing something. So it feels good that I found this, because it's like, it's like I needed to find this thing to do. So thanks. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate the idea that anyone could see this, understand what I'm saying, and be like, yeah, like, this is awesome. I'm glad he makes videos. Not even a thing where it's like, I'm totally invested in everything he does. It's like, wow, that's really nice to hear. And that's the kind of stuff that I like as well on YouTube. People who genuinely love what they're doing because it helps them in a meaningful way that isn't just, it helps me because it gives me money, or it helps me because I need the satisfaction of making sure I'm like famous. I don't know. I like the idea that it's like YouTube is a creative medium, regardless of what you say. Making videos, uploading videos, keeping track of views, thumbnails, all this stuff. It's a creative medium. You're doing stuff creatively and getting results from it, just like anything else. And it's fun, and it's different, and it was new a while ago. It's not very new now, but it's cool, and I'm glad that I pursued it when I did. And I think I see a lot of people who have tried to, or people who do, and it's cool. I wish I wish my videos got more views, because it would give me more of an excuse to do it more professionally. But at this point, it's hard to even say that. Not gonna dwell on the whole I wish this could have happened thing. I'm not trying to make it like that. This is just kind of me talking about it, and talking about it transparently with you guys. Anyway, this is getting to be 30 minutes long, so I gotta stop. But thanks again. I will continue to make videos, and I have more videos to upload throughout this month, and I think I have a video that me and my friend are going to do for fun. So again, this is just kind of a fun thing that will keep happening probably for a long time, and it's satisfying and easy to do, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Probably not. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening.